All right, guys, I wanted to give you an update on the recent camera problems that I had, and as well as several other electronic related, computer related issues that I've been having recently, and some changes that are happening over here for me, and just try to fill you in on some of that stuff that's been going on. So a couple videos back, if you watch those previous videos there, you might know that I experienced some audio problems with my GoPro Hero 9. Got that guy right here. So I had a bunch of clips whenever I was out at John Terry's shop recording the scraping class and the tearing down of the Rockford. A lot of clips. There's some other things that I was doing there too that I didn't even show you that I didn't get audio on the Hero 9. So after that, GoPro sent me an email and gave me a list of things to try to help solve the problem with the Hero 9 right here. So one of those was doing there was an update for the camera. It was a software update. So I did the software update. They also suggested possibly doing a hard reset on it. I did not do that. I just did the software update. After that, I've done some tests using just the camera mic, and those tests worked fine. I did some more tests with the Rode. This is the Rode wireless mic. I've got this little adapter there where you can hold both of them together if you want on whatever kind of camera you got. So anyway, I've done tests with both the camera and the Rode mic. Both of them are working so far. Test videos just being I turn it on, I take a 5 to 10 second video of doing some audio, saying test, things like that, and those have been playing. So I don't know what happened with that. Maybe the software update fixed that, but I did read a lot of comments that a lot of people are having problems with the Hero 9. So really disappointing to hear. So I'm going to be apprehensive on using this until I know that it continues to work right. So I'll continue to keep testing this. Until then, I've got my Hero 8 and my Hero 7 that I've been using for years, and those seem to be working just fine. I've never had any kind of major problems with them. This is the Hero 8 right here. The only problem I really ever had with this is sometimes it doesn't want to turn on, which that's inconvenient when you're trying to like take a great shot of something. You go to turn the camera on, it won't come on. I have to take the battery out, stick it back in, get it to come on. So it's not perfect either, but it's been more reliable than the new Hero 9. So I'm going to continue to play with those and use the Hero 8 and the 7 for the continuing shot footage that I've always given you. Okay. The other thing that I noticed about the 9, and maybe you saw this too, the recent SNS where I was showing some turning over on the Victor, I was using this, and I realized that a lot of those clips where I was kind of up close was not in focus. And I was using this camera, and it was the same distance from the work that I always put this camera, whether I'm using the one that you're seeing with right now or the 8, and that's always in focus. But this one, just say 12 inches, about a foot right there, and I noticed that it was out of focus. So I believe the focal point on the Hero 9 is different than that of the previous cameras. Didn't realize that until I started doing the editing, So something else that I have to consider is the focal point of that. These don't do real good on close-ups anyway, but it's always worked pretty good for me. And then in addition to that, I have my iPhone. This is the 12 Pro, and I've been using this to take video as well. And it takes great video. Beautiful shots. I can zoom in. It's nice and clear. And in addition to that, great pictures there as well. So I'm going to continue to use this for a lot of my shot footage there as well, because it just does a great job. All right. So that was what I wanted to mention on with the cameras there. All right. And then I appreciate there's been a lot of suggestions for like other makes and brands of cameras out there. And I'm going to continue to look those up, research them, and see what else is out there on the market. And maybe down the road we'll see about adding another camera to the lineup here. I would like to see if there's like a nice DSLR type of camera, an updated one that has like some kind of built-in stabilization that like the newer generations of GoPros have, and also in the new iPhone. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to update. I had the 8, and I could not mount this to a machine with a clamp and do a recording because it would shake. And the iPhone 12 they've got that built-in stabilization there. So now I can mount this on a machine, turn it on. You don't see that vibration in the videos. Okay, so this takes great video. But I'd like to see if there's a high-end camera that maybe has that kind of stabilization built into it now, that I can mount with a mag base over on the machine and it still get nice, crisp, clear video. So if you have any suggestions there, throw those out there too. Okay. I've got a lot invested right here, you know, and I'm wanting to use what I got for a while anyway. So the other thing that's going on, I've been having a lot of computer and laptop issues, and not just the past month. I mean, this has been going on for several months, all last year. You know, I've had a laptop for a couple years, and it continues to fail me when I'm trying to edit videos on the road, and this doesn't want to work. Like, it doesn't have the power to edit a video like I want it to do. You know, so that gets frustrating. My computer that I've had for several years now, my desktop, it was a custom built computer by a company here in town. You know, I had some problems with it. Took it back to them a couple of times. They did do a little fix on it, bring it home. You know, blue screen. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there editing. All of a sudden, a blue screen pops up. The computer has to reset. You know, that kind of stuff really upsets me whenever those things happen. And I've always been a PC or, you know, Windows software user. That's what I understand. It's what I know how to navigate it. I know where to click and, you know, transfer files from the computer or from the camera over onto the computer and move them around. A lot of people are Mac users now, or Apple software. I'm a iPhone user since the version 4. I love my phone. I've been really trying to procrastinate and prolong that idea of going from PC over to Mac, but I finally took the plunge and have done that. So I bought myself a MacBook Pro that I'm hoping is going to end up being the computer that I use for video editing. You know, my computer in general. So my wife Abby and her parents, you know, they run their own business. They're all Mac users, have been for about 10 years now. My buddy Lance and his wife Laura, they're Mac users, MacBook users. They love them, swear by them. And a slew of other people that I know use MacBooks, and they all swear by them and say, once you learn how to navigate this software, you're going to love it. It's going to work great. Not only that, it's a great machine. It does exactly what you want it to do. So I put it off for the longest time because I didn't want to have to like relearn what it is that I've learned on how to use a computer. But I've decided to go ahead and do it since my other computers keep failing me and having problems with it. I didn't want to buy another PC. You know, I just decided to go ahead and go with Mac. Bought me a MacBook. I've got it set up on my bar. And what I'm doing is I'm going to try to learn with help from others on how to use a Mac and use it efficiently and do video editing there. I've still got my desktop set up. I'll be using that when I need to. If I need to go ahead and just say, I got to go get a video done, I'm going to go over here to the laptop, or the desktop, get a video edited or get something edited, and then continue to go to the MacBook and figure out how to run that computer and use it for my video editing software. But even that's getting a little frustrating because I'm having to learn how to navigate it. And the video editing software I've always used is PowerDirector. That's what I picked since 2013 to learn and figure out how to use. And I think it's pretty easy and pretty user friendly. And I've had several versions of their software. So when I got my MacBook, I saw that you can download PowerDirector for Mac. They have a Mac version. So that's what I did. So there would be a lot easier transition there. Got that. I go in there and I start editing videos, trying to make sure everything's all right. And I'm learning that simple little functions that I'm used to doing is now not working or working the same as they did on my other computer. Just simple little things. And it's just frustrating. And that's what I meant by, like, I keep getting hit by all these little problems, you know, these electronic issues. So I've got a new Mac that I'm learning how to use. I've got video editing software on that. I'm having to kind of figure out how to make it work the way that I'm used to making it work and continue to edit the videos there. All right, so I am in a learning process right here. I will say that in addition to the PowerDirector, when I ordered the MacBook, I went ahead and had them add the Final Cut Pro, because I wanted to have another good video editing software to be able to possibly learn or have as a backup there as well. So I'm probably going to play around with the Final Cut Pro and see if I can learn how to use that for video editing as well. And I know that iMovie is on there. I use iMovie on my phone, so I'm going to see if I can learn how to do it on the MacBook and maybe use that to my advantage there as well. All right. So you might see some changes in the videos, and I don't mean changes like, you know, any kind of massive change, but I'm having to recreate different fonts and text screens, things that pull in, you know, like an intro title screen. I'm having to make all that stuff again for the new Power Director that's on the Mac, because I have never been able to figure out how to take files from this Power Director on this old computer and transfer it over here to this software on this computer. If there's a way to do it, I've never figured out how to do it. So simple things like titles and intros, intro cards, I'm having to remake that and have it on the MacBook to use for my video editing. It's there's a lot of little things like that that if you don't make videos, maybe you're not aware of, but when you do make videos and you can't rely on that stuff that you always know how to do, now all of a sudden it's different, or it's there, it's missing, or it works different, causes a lot of frustration whenever you're trying to edit a video to share with your subscribers there. So you might see a few little changes here or there, something different. Maybe the intro looks slightly different than it did before, or the texture a little different. But I'm going to continue working, you know, on the new computer and hopefully learn how to use the Mac. And I'm going by all of my friends and family that have told me that you can't go wrong with a Mac, that it's going to be a great computer for you. It'll be reliable. It's powerful to do the editing that you want to do with all that high def video. So I'm leaning on all these people that told me that I can rely on a Mac to do what it is I want to do. And I'm sure they're right. I've just got to learn the software. Okay, that's the main thing. So I guess that was a long-winded way of telling you that I've been having electronic camera and computer issues here lately, and I felt that it was enough going on that I wanted to kind of make a little segment just to talk about that. So I apologize if I bored you to death, but I wanted to kind of keep you updated on what's been going on here lately. But I will continue to keep filming my projects and editing them and sharing them with you on my YouTube channel.